is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vincent Saylor, coming to you live from Burrito Miko here in Elgin, Oklahoma, for the 2025 Elgin Coaches Show. A little bit different this year. We're going to have our own Coaches Show here with Chalmer Wyatt. It was our main guest here in a little while. We're here live from Burrito Miko. I want to thank Burrito Miko and all of those guys. Miguel has done a great job here in the community, was the 2024 sponsor of the year from the Elgin Chamber of Commerce, and then also got an award as well from the football team for all the things that he did for the football team last year. Obviously, Elgin coming off of a huge state title last year, first in school history, so a lot to make up for this year. Obviously, lost a lot of good seniors, but have a lot of talent coming back. So we'll still continue to have all the live action brought to you by OSN on Friday nights. Big game against MAC coming up in week 0. But tonight we're going to, like I said, preview a little bit of that game and kind of the season to come, and also review a little bit of what the scrimmage between Guthrie and Bethany last week. So, like I said, we're here live at Burrito Miko. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. You're watching the Elgin Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
They say the best way to be a good neighbor is to know your neighbors and give a little help when they need it. And when you need a little, you can find help at Ace Hardware in Elgin. Not only do they offer everything from grills to flowers, paint, hardware, and tools, they offer experience to help guide you through the process. And they're happy to take the time to make sure you can do it right. Ace Hardware of Elgin. They're more than just a hardware store. They're your neighbors. Ace Hardware, 7796 Highway 277 in Elgin.
Aero Sign Company is now Fusion Sign and Design, continuing to serve all of Oklahoma and surrounding states for the past 70 years. Their focus has always been driving people to your door, not just selling you a sign. From custom work and installation to excellent service, they have the knowledge and expertise to help you along the way, and making your image stand out and last for years to come. The all-new Fusion Sign and Design. Phone 353-2227.
And we're back here at Burrito Miko on this Tuesday afternoon. Like I said, getting ready for week 0 against the MacArthur Highlanders. Obviously, we've played them the last couple years, kind of built into a nice little rivalry here. We've won the last 3, so obviously Mac's going to come in with a little venom and things like that to try and get on the winning side of that rivalry. But big game coming up, and then an even bigger season coming up. Like I said, we're going to recap a little bit last year, because last time we talked to you, we were on the field at UCO celebrating the state title for the first time in Elgin high school football history. And what a great experience that was. Like I said, got a lot of returning starters back. Ritzenmeyer going to obviously carry the load there at the running back spot. We're looking forward to some newcomers as well. Caden Boletto taking over the reins for Trace Laura. Trace, a 4-year starter, so obviously big shoes to fill there, but Caden's got a ton of talent and look really good both in the spring, during the summer, and so far here in the fall camp. So looking forward to seeing what he does. Obviously got some big linemen to replace, but looking forward to some of the guys that are in there. Hudson Begley's going to take on a huge role with the offensive and defensive line, kind of replacing Jace Williams there, who's off to Navy, and then obviously Ant and Shea, also 2 tackles that we've got to replace as well. So got a lot of people to replace, but got a ton of talent coming back. Like I said, most of your skill players are coming back, as far as Ritson Meyer, Brody Morrison, Kaysen Meyer, Bryce Martin on the outside, on the defensive side of the ball as well. So like I said, a lot of people back. A lot of people have us picked again to go pretty far in state, so we're excited about that. A few changes with OSN this year. Obviously, we're going to have our own coaches show, so we'll be here every Tuesday, game week, live right here from Burrito Mico. We'll probably have Miguel on every now and then to kind of tell you a little bit more about what's going on here. He just opened another place out in Lawton, and I think he's trying to open another one maybe out in Temple or whatnot. So we'll have Miguel on at some point during the season as well, to kind of tell us a little bit more about Burrito Mico and what's going on with all of his various restaurants and things like that. But like I said, the main guy of this show is obviously going to be Coach Chalmer Wyatt. Looking forward to hearing what he has to say about this upcoming year and what he's seen so far from this team. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we're back, we'll have Coach Wyatt to kind of preview this year and talk a little bit about the upcoming game against Mac. You're watching Elgin Owl Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
So, not real big on paying bank fees? Well, that's okay. It means you're smart with your money and you know how to get a good deal. You're a credit union kind of person, and Communication Federal is your kind of credit union. In fact, Pay Me Checking puts real money right into your account when you use your Visa debit card, online or in stores. Pay Me Checking, the free account that pays you only from Communication Federal Credit Union.
Are you looking for more than just a job? Paris Foods in Lawton offers a career with a competitive starting wage, opportunity for advancement, life and health insurance, including medical, dental, and vision, as well as 401k retirement plan. At Bar S, you can be proud of a company that gives back to the community. But most of all, you can take pride from making a quality product. Bar S Foods, making the best tasting hot dogs and smoked sausages, the food America likes to eat. So come be a part of a winning team and start your path to success today.
All right, we're back here live at the Elgin Football Coaches Show with Coach Chalmer Wyatt. Coach Wyatt, last time we were on the network, obviously we were at UCL celebrating a state title. Like I said, obviously we haven't had the opportunity to talk to you much since then. So let's tell our viewers a little bit about how exciting that was and what that meant to not only the program but to yourself and the community as a whole.
Man, the ultimate accomplishment, with what we do as coaches, as players, as a program, community. A lot of things went right, and a lot of things had to go right to get all that done, and just tremendous, and and that's kind of what you work towards, and it's also exciting to get going this year with this group, and you've got that taste in your mouth,
right?
You want to get back to it, so that's what we're working towards right now.
Talk a little bit about, obviously, this year being the hunted. I mean, we, like I said, first title in state in school history, and now, like I said, we've got a lot of people kind of picking us kind of early on in the season, kind of in that top 2 or 3 in 4A. So, I mean, obviously last year we came in with a lot of hype as well with that senior class, but I mean, now all of a sudden you're the hunted rather than a hunter. Can talk about a little bit about how that mind shift changes and things like that.
I mean, one way to look at it is there's only one team that wins state every year, right?
Right.
And when you don't, you have a landmark, or you have a pecking order that you want to go towards. Now, once you win it, it's kind of uncharted waters, right? It's a little different. Your mindset's a little different. It has to be different. And I think the good thing about that is with each team that you coach is different. You get to develop that new mindset, and that's been an adjustment, and it's been something that you don't really think, after you win it, what's it going to be like. But, once you get a new team that has won it, you have to take a different approach with them and kind of change their mindset a little bit and get that hunger back and work hard and get back to the things that got you there.
So talk a little bit about, obviously, that senior class. I mean, we talked about it last year. That senior class meant so much to the program. It was your first 7th grade group that you had all the way coming through. But obviously you've got a lot of talent coming back this year. So talk a little bit about some of the senior class this year and kind of what to look forward from that senior class, the Ritson Meyers, the Brody Morrisons, and those guys. Obviously they've played a ton of football for us, and we're huge cogs in the wheel last year. But talk a little bit about this year's senior class and what to expect from those guys.
Yeah, the majority of those guys were, they played a huge part last year in what we did. And, now it's kind of their turn. And I think that the experience that they got last year was great for their development in that leadership department. And now they're doing it their own way.
Right.
And, it doesn't have to be the way that the last team did it, but they need to do it their way. And I think that's genuine. I think that's, something, and when it's genuine and it's your own way, that everybody can get behind. And it's been good to see their growth. I can't believe they're seniors. I feel like I say that every year, but
right.
A lot of those guys are 3-year starters. A lot of those guys are 4-year starters. And to see them be seniors it's a breath of fresh air because it's new.
Right.
And now we're being led by them. So it's been a bright spot, and it's been fun to watch those guys grow into that through summer and fall camp.
So talk a little bit. Obviously, we'll talk about offense first, and then we'll get into defense after a break. But let's talk a little bit about what you've seen so far in camp. Obviously, went against Carl Albert. Went up to Carl Albert again during May for that camp. Had some 7-on-7 work this summer with some programs around this area: Lawton, Chickasha, Duncan, some of those guys. And then obviously we're 2 weeks in the fall camp, and I mean, it's crazy to think that we're only 2 weeks in the fall camp. We got a game on Friday.
Yeah, we need another week.
But talk a little bit of kind of what you've seen on the offensive side leading into that, and some of the guys that are stepping into some of those big roles.
Okay, I go back to when we went back to spring ball and started practice. We were just a few months removed from practicing the state championship week, and
right.
I think that experience with those guys that plugged in and took over some starting roles on the offense this year, we were able to kind of fast forward our base offense a little bit just because we kind of knew that, had that hammered in, and we were able to get to a lot of things with our install that maybe normally we wouldn't, if you're ending football at, the 1st of November.
Right.
And so that was good to see kind of the knowledge of the offense. And then, offensive line, I really liked how, our base scheme, guys were going the right way. Guys were taking the right steps. And, we knew how to line up easy. We could get creative with our alignment out wide formationally. And it was just kind of fresh to be able to kind of coach the next thing where maybe you wouldn't get to it until fall camp. We were
right.
able to do that in the spring a little bit. And then player by player, Caden has stepped in so far and is running the one huddle, and he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
I think he's always been a quality backup the last 3 years, and I think that he's a guy that, he could play for a lot of teams last year.
Yeah. Looking at our schedule, Tuttle might have been the only team that he probably may not have started for.
I really like what he's doing. And I've had some good talks with him about, what it is, what it's like, what do we demand of a quarterback. And, just like anybody, he's got a lot to learn still, and he knows that, and he's taking it in his stride. And he's been a pleasure to be around. He's had a great attitude. Running the huddle is a big deal, and he's doing a great job there. Tight ends, which is a position I coach. We've got Lucas Young, who will be on later, has come out this year, and he's doing a great job schematically learning. He's a quick learner. He's picking it up, and that's half the battle at tight end because we do a lot with those guys. Tucker New is a guy that played some tight end last year, and now he's kind of stepped into that role. Brody Donnelly and Caleb Atasola and Jake Deal are all quality right there, depending on what we want to do offensively. So I'm excited for those guys to continue to grow, and I feel like you know, that they can help us out in a lot of spots. Receiver position, Brody, it starts with Brody.
Yeah.
You know, he brings back what, 900 yards and 11 touchdowns.
That one, did he tie it or beat your record? I can't remember. I think he might have tied it with that one in the.
I think he tied it, and I hope he shatters it this year. He's took his game to another level. What he can do, stretching the field vertically and in the screen game and intermediate game, he's pretty complete, and he's really grown into one of those senior leaders.
Yeah.
Then you look at Joey Ariano, Casey Myers back there has been a really good edge receiver, middle receiver that kind of controls the edge, plays over the middle a lot. John Lohman, Corday Ritchie, Keegan Hillary kind of round out that group of guys that we feel confident in going out and taking a lot of snaps for us, whoever it may be. And then obviously the running back room, we're probably a little deeper this year. Ritson's back. Braxton's back. Dalvin is making a lot of great strides. I'd love to see him kind of get in the mix and get some development at the running back room when the time is right. And that's deep. That's great. And so just offensively, I really like where we're at. Like I said, we could really kind of get to some things that we wouldn't have got to if we didn't have the experience from last year. So it's been good.
Well, I mean, talk a little bit about that. I mean, I don't think people understand that are watching the importance of, I mean, we had, 15 weeks of practice.
Yes.
Where a lot of times, I mean, in a lot of schools, I mean, if you don't make the playoffs, you got 10. If you're out in the first round, you got 11. I mean, we were practicing all the way up until mid-December. And like you said, I mean, you turn right around and you're almost there. I mean, talk about how those extra practice. I mean, it's almost like a D1 school when they get those bowl practices. It gets another 15 or so practices for those young kids. And like I said, it's not so important maybe necessarily for those starters and things like that. But, I mean, those young kids, talk about how important that was in kind of their development. I mean, you touched on it earlier, but talk about how that kind of led to their development. Some of those kids that now we're asking to step up and play some bigger roles this year.
Yeah, I mean, think of it this way. You know, if I end a practice in the middle of November, and we have a play called power, that's the last I hear about power until maybe the spring. You know,
right.
But if I'm practicing all the way to the middle of December, and repping and just repping in my head, repping on the field, it just comes back to you faster. You know, it's so in that aspect, it's been really beneficial. For the offensive development. And offense is hard. You know, offense is usually the last thing that comes around when you start camp and stuff. And I thought that gave us a good starting point through the spring to see where we're at and be able to really take some steps forward. But it's now that we've been there, done that, and played all those extra practice, all those extra weeks, you really see it firsthand how it helps each position. And those twos, got probably 90% of the reps that the ones were getting. And so, those guys are a lot of the guys that are taking them now, and you just see the fruit in that as we go through camp.
Talk a little bit, we'll kind of wrap up here with the offensive line on the offensive side of the ball. Talk a little bit about those guys. Obviously, I mean, you've got three, pretty darn good ones to replace, two D1 guys and Shea at UCO, and some might argue he was the most talented of the three.
Yeah.
I mean, so you got three guys to replace there. Talk a little bit about what you've seen so far in camp and how comfortable you guys are going into this MAC game with that offensive line you got in place now.
I like where we're at with them, and to me personally, without getting too Castro-ish, if you will, this is kind of my take on it. I think the unison, kind of the cohesion, is the part of the group that we have now that needs to grow. Okay. And I think that just comes with playing together.
Playing time, right.
Playing together. And they're doing a great job when we're mixing up, showing different looks, fronts, blitzes and stuff. They know it, they're coached, and now it's kind of getting out there and executing it, and then, feeling it like, hey, on that look, me and you need to go here, just having that cohesion. And I like this group because they're smart. Again, they benefited greatly from the reps that we got. And we step in. Senior C.J. Devine is going to step in.
He looks the part.
He does look the part.
Yeah.
I think I had him at 6'4", 6'3", 285. Cameron Hollifer played some sparingly last year at tackle for Shea, and he's athletic and does a great job, strong on the edge. You look at Hudson Bagley that moves to tackle this year, and he's learned tackle, and I think that's another deal. Learning all 5 spots is good, and I think when you practice, that's one of those other things you can pick up.
But he's also a junior who's got 25, almost 30 starts basically. I mean, so that does a great job there for you there too.
And then Jackson Deal returns, and he's moved over to guard. He understands our scheme better than he did last year, and is a guy that maybe last year at times was going the right way, but he was just getting in the way. Now he's learning to finish blocks in a good way, and that's been great to see. He took a really big step from last year to this year just watching his film, and so I'm excited for his junior year. And then we've got a center battle right now. Brody Blue, Zayden Roberts, and Micah Keybone are fighting for that spot, and it's healthy competition, because those are 3 guys that are very capable. There's no fall off between them right now, and it's going to be the guy that just kind of is the most consistent and wins the job. Okay. And obviously having good snaps is a big part of that, and knowing our scheme and where we're to go with our center. So those guys round that out, and again, I can't wait to watch the cohesion of that group grow, because Hudson's in a new spot, CJ kind of takes over, and Cam is kind of senior leaders on that group, so. We're excited for them, and they've responded really, really well this week at practice, and that's always a good sign. And obviously, Coach Castro is going to get those guys ready, right? No matter who they are. So it's been good to see with the big guys.
I mean, obviously things are going to, we're going to rely on Ritson a ton. I mean, talk a little bit about him. I mean, this is senior year. I mean, he's done so much for this program, not just the football program, but baseball on the wrestling side as well. I mean, talk about the type of athlete that he is and what to expect out of him in his senior year.
I mean, what a career so far, Man, he's so fun to be around. Yeah, I mean, that's what's really cool about it.
He's one of those kids that you love that he's on your team, and if he's not on your team, you're kind of like, who is this guy?
Again, that's one of those deals. Like, I can't believe Ritson's a senior.
Right, right.
Like, he's just been playing forever, and but it's also really cool to see him as he's growing and becoming a leader for us. And I mean, he's obviously, it starts with him. Defenses are going to know where he's at.
Right.
No matter where. And we can do a lot of things with him, and we're going to demand a lot out of him this year. And he's a guy that's ready for all that. He's a gamer. He's going to get it done when it's crunch time. And that's something you can't teach. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he's just kind of got that it factor, and that's been really cool to see. And he's looked a tick quicker when he goes through the holes this year, and that's been good to see because last year I thought that he could have had a little bit better burst, and now he's got it.
Yeah.
When he climbs the second level, I think I think that he's going to have some success more than he had last year when he breaks to the second level. I think he's got a little bit more of a burst there.
So talk a little bit, obviously we did not broadcast the scrimmage last week, so since we're talking about offense, on the offensive side of the ball, talk about some of the improvements, some of the good things that you saw in the scrimmage against Bethany and Guthrie, but also some of the improvements to look forward to when we take on MAC Friday night.
Offensively or defensively?
Offensively.
Offensively, okay. I thought that we executed our offense well in the rapid fire. We did some good things. We threw some touchdowns. We broke some runs. We blocked things up, and we didn't game plan Guthrie or Bethany, so we kind of rolled out and took our scheme with what we had. And so the fronts were a little different, which is fine. We weren't worried about that, but we just want to see effort and execution. And with the different fronts we got, I thought that we did an above-average job of doing that, which was tough for a new O-line. But and then, we threw the ball well. We took care of the ball. And then we had a couple penalties in our quarter that set us back, and I thought that was a great teaching point for us as an offense where, I think we had a holding call, and we got to 3rd and 20. Nobody can convert 3rd and 20.
Right.
Our play sheet doesn't have 3rd and 20.
No, not many.
So that was a great teaching point. And again, it was all free at cost, right, scrimmage. And I really liked the way our team responded Monday at practice.
Okay.
I thought, you can go back. We had a pretty decent spring camp, and maybe we were feeling ourselves a little bit. We got back to practice on Monday, and that was the biggest takeaway for me at the scrimmage was to see the team that showed up Monday at practice. I think some of the things we knew weren't good enough. We moved the ball at times, but penalties killed us, and so we know that we got to clean that up in order to finish drives. And offensively, that was kind of where I was at.
Talk kind of last question before we head on to the defense. Take a break and then head on to the defensive side. Talk about some of the newcomers or young kids that like I said, we've got a lot of kids returning as far as skill guys on the outside, but talk about some of the young kids that need to step up this year and kind of what you're kind of those kids that you're looking to take on a big role this year.
Yeah, I feel like for about the last 4 years, we've had some good sophomores step up, and fill some roles, and we're developing those guys right now. There's about a handful that came into my mind as you started talking about that, and sophomore-wise, some young guys. I think Caleb Adesola is making some big strides. He had a tremendous practice today on both sides of the ball, defensive end and tight end. He's a guy that almost takes every snap at practice, whether he's on scout team or on the varsity team, and that's a quality that will make you better. And he's really, really embracing that and doing a great job. Keegan Hillary's a guy that stepped up in the secondary. We've seen some good energy and some good physicality out of him, and that's been good to see because that's kind of a piece back there that we're still trying to figure out who's it going to be. We've got some corners that are going to step up and whoever it may be, but he's had a really good fall camp and a really good summer to kind of set himself up for that. I think going back to the scrimmage, our sophomore quarterback Jake Croft had a great scrimmage.
Yeah,
he threw the ball well and ran the offense and made some throws over the middle with good zip and good arm strength that he had been lacking. So that was good to see.
Yeah, his improvement from just in the few days I've been out of practice, his improvement from last year to this year is incremental. I mean, it is phenomenal to watch. So looking forward to hopefully maybe him getting some time. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, want to wish Caden as best as possible, but hopefully we can get in some of those games where we can get Croft some real snaps and some real time. Because I think that helped Caden out last year. Some unfortunate injury there the year that kind of threw him off a little bit on the schedule, but all that he played some as a freshman and some as a sophomore, you'll get to see some of that when he's a junior and finally kind of being that man. So looking forward to, like I said, what Caden could do with the offense, but like I said, really impressed with how far Croft has come in as a quarterback.
Yeah, intelligent, understands the offense really well, and when you do that, you can just.
Well, he's got the size too. I mean, that's one good thing too about it. So.
Then you look at, Tucker New played sparingly last year, but he's going to be a guy that's going to take a lot of snaps on defense and offense, and he's got some real ability with what he does on defense and on offense. We're going to kind of get a lot of miles out of him, and he's a guy that can do it. He's kind of an Ironman guy.
Right.
He can go for a while, and that's a good quality to have. Even, you get down to some guys that are quality. Jake Deal is going to be a guy that's going to step up and take some roles on offensively and defensively, and that's a guy that we got to have. Last year we had a really, really solid third linebacker that could spell us at times, and good teams have great depth, right? And we're finding those guys day by day. I feel like there's another one that emerges out of practice, and we talk about him in the office after practice. Like, man, I think he's making some strides and can help us. A guy that really stuck out the last couple days, Brody Donnelly, guy that's growing up. And the list goes on, which is great to see. That's what you want. You build your depth and give guys shots. And, if they work hard for it with what we do, give them their shot. It's not just this guy's a starter and he needs the reps. I took the first tight ends out of the team practice today because these guys had earned it. It's nothing against them, but I think that breeds good competition, good practice.
Awesome. So, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back to kind of talk a little bit about the defensive side of the ball, and then we'll kind of preview the MAC game with you as well. So, you're watching the Elgin Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We'll be right back.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
All right, we're back here with Coach Chalmer White of the Elgin Owls at the Elgin Owl Coaches Show. So we just kind of previewed a little bit of the offense, but now let's kind of turn to the defense. Obviously, defense last year held on teams under 8 points. I mean, got a lot of guys back, but also got to fill some huge holes there. Colin Donnelly, CD18, is 818 was kind of everywhere on the field last year for you. So kind of preview a little bit about some of these upcoming guys and kind of how everybody looked in fall camp so far.
Yeah, it starts with the person you talked about. We replace him. Casey Meyer steps into that role as the signal caller of the defense. Smart, savvy, understands football. Obviously, Ritson's back at the will position, so it's really cool to have two brothers playing inside linebacker. Something that's underrated with who we bring back is our outside linebackers. Philip Pibushi and Braxton Antuna. I thought that they had great years last year, and we've got more depth at that position this year, and what they do with setting the edge and kind of being selfless there.
Yeah, because those guys last year kind of had to go almost full time. Really didn't have great backups there. So glad to hear that we're kind of building some depth there. Because you want to see Tiny kind of be able to, run a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and so I think that's going to just kind of free us up to be a little bit fresher, at times, especially early in the season.
Yeah.
It was defensive back-wise. Bryce Martin returns. He had an incredible year last year.
The Honey Owl.
Honey Owl, I like it. Video game numbers, I felt like.
Yeah.
Brody's back at
safety. Six return?
6
Bryce, 6 TDs? 6?
4.
Okay.
I think it was.
I think he had 8 and 6 when returned for a touchdown. Something crazy.
It was unbelievable, and I don't know if people pick on him as much this year. But,
right.
Brody's back at safety. He's been doing that since he was a freshman.
Right.
And that's great. Some leadership, some experience back there, get us in the right coverages. And him and Bryce have worked really well the last 2 years on that side. John Lohman steps in at the other safety spot. That's hard-working kid that really, really is grasping what he's doing and coming into his own. A guy that is 190 pounds, and looks really rocked up and can
he looks the part.
Come downhill and fill. And the other corner spot right now, battling out between Corday, Ritchie, Keegan Hillary, and they're doing great things. It's a tough race to call right now. Obviously, physicality will kind of be an outlier and kind of who gets that spot, but I see both of those guys playing a lot. Defensive line, we're going to rely on Hudson a lot, and he's the guy that we're going to put a lot on, and we know he can handle it, and he's going to take over the nose guards position with Talon Comastadel backing him there.
Big T,
which we're glad he's back out.
Yeah,
he's been incredible. It worked out for him to come back to the football program, and he's got a good story, and he's been here every day and working hard, and I hope he's hard to move. At his size, he'll
he looks like it.
Really be a good presence in the middle. Talked about Tucker playing in, and then Braden Jones steps over to the anchor spot, and he is a strong kid. I thought I messed up, but I think he bench pressed 385.
Yeah, I think that was the final number.
And we were doing tight end drills the other day. He's a tight end too, and I was holding the bag, working some kick out blocks, and I can feel the bench press when he goes. So I won't be holding the bag for much longer. But big, strong. He gives our offensive line such a great look, and he's done it for 3 years.
Right.
That now it's his time, and we've seen some really good things out of him. And defensively, coming out of our scrimmage, talking scrimmage defensively, I thought that was an uncharacteristic scrimmage for us defensively.
Okay.
I know that Coach Baker would tell you the same thing. You know, he was disappointed in our effort and kind of the standard we played to. And again, I alluded to that's why Monday's practice was a lot better, because defensively we really responded.
Okay.
The team that played Friday defensively was not at practice on Monday. It was a new team at practice. And
great to hear.
And then it was really great to hear. And that's one of those things, talking about a new team and how are they going to respond. And that was a really good sight to see, just how locked in they were and how they believe, and that wasn't good enough.
Well, I mean, if they knew it and understood it and knew that wasn't the standard. I mean, same thing after Hillcrest last year.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew we didn't play up to the standard, even though we won the game and whatnot. I mean, and like I said, from that moment forward, you never looked back on the defensive side of the ball. So that's something really good to hear from our perspective on this side.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit. So that's kind of a preview of the defense and some of those guys. Obviously, like I said, kind of looking forward to John Lohman and Braden Jones kind of getting their chance for the first time. Tucker New played. Like I said, all those guys kind of played some last year, but looking forward to them, just like Caden on the offensive side of the ball, finally getting their chance and seeing how they can do and run with the opportunity that's in front of them. Also, let's talk a few coaching changes, nothing major, but talk about some of those new guys on the staff this year and kind of what they bring to the table.
Okay, yeah, we hired Blake Eastwood, who these guys will all be on the show at some point this year, so we'll put a face with a name, or however it goes. Blake Eastwood coached at Lawton High last 2 years, played some college ball at Southern Nazarene University, outside linebacker, and he's stepped in and has done a tremendous job with the outside linebackers, and that's a position that Coach Baker coaches as well. So those guys work really well together. Obviously, he played it; he knows the position well, and he's very detailed in practice and pushes the kids, and kids respond really well to him. And he's been a really, really good addition. I'm happy to have him doing a tremendous job for us. And then we've hired Luke Johns, who will take over the wide receivers. And he's a former college receiver as well. Played some ball at Harding, and then
the Bison.
He's teaching in the high school, and very detailed in wide receiver work. You know, I believe that our footwork and our routes are increasing with in and out of breaks, and just kind of the detailed process that takes. And going to help out with, as an offensive staff member, help out with some game planning stuff, and also going to tackle some kicking duties, which we will have a new kicker this year.
Yeah.
So he's doing a good job with that, working hard, during practice when he can and after practice when he can. And so really excited to have him. And we have a unretired coach that is at Elgin that has joined the football staff this year, that coached football in probably 2000 to 2006. John Hughes is back on staff.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay. Get him out of the stands so he doesn't aggravate anybody in the stands this year.
So he won't be yelling at us. Well, he will. It'll just be one of us. And we got into the office last weekend, started game planning, and I could already tell that he made it. He said something funny. He said, "You guys have it easy. This huddle and this film breakdown, I'm not drawing anything with stencils. I'm not going to Chickasha to meet for film exchange. You guys just come up here.
It's all done electronically.
You pay Huddle Assist to break it down for you." And I said, "Well, it sounds like I'm putting years on your coaching life is what I'm doing." And he's like, "Nah, I don't know about that." But, man, he's a good veteran coach. He, second day out with the DBs, he kind of grabbed him up as a group and kind of took some control there.
Okay.
As he helps me with that. And real knowledgeable. I didn't even know he was that knowledgeable about football. But he picked it up just like that. And, just another great employee, coach at Elgin that we get a part of our program now.
Right.
That's important. We
Right.
got a lot of the right people in there, and great addition. And he hadn't skipped a beat, He feels like he never stopped coaching football.
Awesome.
So that rounds out our staff, high school-wise. We got 9 there, and it's been really fun so far.
Good. All right, so before we get you out of here, obviously we got to talk about MAC. I mean, that's the big game coming up Friday. Obviously, kind of a lot like us. I mean, returning a lot of skill guys on the outside, kind of learning who the guys in the trenches are going to be. But talk a little bit about that game and kind of the rivalry that game has kind of now come. Obviously, we've been on the winning edge so far in the first 3, but obviously that means they're coming in here with some bills to pay and trying to get back at us a little. But talk a little bit about that and kind of what to expect Friday with it being the first team out, for the first game out on this 2025 Elgin Owl team.
Yeah, it's right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a highly touted matchup in the state for week 0.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people have them in the top 5 or so in 5A, and us kind of in that top 3 or so in 4A. So it's one of the kind of the big games in the state in week 0.
Which makes it tough on your preparation. You want to play well against one of your newly rivalry opponents, if you will.
Right.
I think Coach Manning would agree. We'd like maybe a week more preparation before we hooked it up.
I would think so.
But it's exciting. Everybody's dying for football this time of year, and what a better way to kick it off against a good opponent. And obviously they're a playoff team year in, year out, and they're reloaded, ready to make a run, and it's a great matchup. With us, a lot of new guys, them a lot of new guys. I think it's good for the sport. I think it's good to be at home.
Yeah.
I'll say that. I think our crowd will be. They will play a big part in the football game. Weather looks great.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask for much more, and so I just game planning, getting this week of practice done, and getting as prepared as we can be to play our best. Right. Week 0, there'll be mistakes made, and adversity is going to happen, and that's part of it. But just as a team, we were looking forward to it. I mean, again, got out of the scrimmage. Scrimmage was for nothing. Now it's here.
Right.
And I know that MacArthur's going to be ready to come over and play. It's last year's game was a dogfight, and I expect nothing less this year with them coming over here with some guys, with some seniors that they have that are kind of leading their group. But I like where we're at with our guys and how they responded and how their preparation has been this week.
Yeah.
That's been the biggest thing for me. And they know it's game week, and they've got a look in their eye, and it's just exciting to have a good practice tomorrow, Thursday, and it'll be here Friday, and we'll be ready to roll.
Awesome. Well, Coach White, good luck in this year. Obviously, new year, new you, new football team, and all that kind of stuff. So looking forward to bringing you all the live action here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. And good luck, and look forward to talking with you every week here at Burrito Miko.
Appreciate it, Vincent.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with some of the players. You're watching the Elgin Owl Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At Arvest Bank, we believe home ownership makes families and communities stronger. Whether it's your first home, a fixer-upper, or your forever home, we're here to help put home ownership within reach. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
All right, we're back here at Burrito Miko with some players now. We've got Bryce Martin and Lucas Young here, both seniors. Bryce, going to ask you a couple questions first. Let's talk a little bit, obviously, about now you being your senior year. Obviously, last year you had a great year with the state title and kind of dubbed the Honey Owl there with all the pick sixes and things like that. But talk about what it means now to finally be a senior and kind of step into one of those leadership roles.
Yeah, being a senior now, you got to lead the team. Losing like Colin, he was a great leader. Looking up to him, it's like you want to lead like him, be like him. Also, like playing role, you got a bigger role now. People are looking up to you while you play. They want to see what you do, ask you a lot of questions. How do you do this? How do you do that? When it comes to coverages and things like that.
All right. So, what's favorite subject in school?
I don't really take like 2 classes.
All right, well, that's good. I mean, you've already knocked out most of them out, huh?
Yeah. English, I guess.
Okay.
English, it's the easiest.
There we go. Now, what's plans for after Elgin life?
Go play football somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know yet, but definitely play ball.
All right. What's the thing you're looking forward most in your senior year?
Definitely this football season, having fun on the field with the guys and stuff like that. It's our last year together until we break off and go somewhere else and play.
All right, Lucas, let's hand the mic over to Lucas. Lucas, all right, tell me a little bit about kind of the decision. Obviously, it's the senior year, it's first year kind of out in a while. I think you played kind of like junior high or whatnot, but obviously first year on varsity. Talk about that decision and kind of obviously you had a great basketball season and had a good baseball season, part of the team that made it to the state finals in baseball as well. But talk a little bit about kind of the decision to come out for your senior year.
Well, graduated 2 tight ends last year, and all my best friends, they all play football. Majority of my friends play football, and I thought senior year might as well go out and try it, and get the summer workouts in, and hopefully it makes me better an athlete, but having fun doing it. It's a lot of fun out there.
So far, I mean, like I said, you've only been around the program maybe 2 months or so. What's been the most fun so far? Obviously, games will be a little bit different, but so far, what's been the most fun kind of getting involved with the football team again?
Just being around the team, it's we're all really close. I think there's a great bond there, and it's fun catching the ball.
What? So I'll ask you kind of same thing as Bryce. But what's your favorite subject there in school?
I'll have to say math. I like solving problems. And never really been a big fan of English. So.
and kind of to round things up, what any plans for after your senior year here at Elgin?
I plan on attending Oklahoma State University. Probably major in civil engineering or finance or something like that.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys a ton. Like I said, we got Bryce Martin here, Lucas Young, looking for some big things out of you guys this year and looking for a big one Friday against Mac. I know, Bryce, you've had some good games against them in the last couple of years, so I know you're ready to take on Mr. Rushing and those guys out there. So good luck Friday, and we'll be there to root you guys on throughout the year. We'll be back after a quick commercial break. You're watching Elgin Owl Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At Arvest Bank, we believe home ownership makes families and communities stronger. Whether it's your first home, a fixer-upper, or your forever home, we're here to help put home ownership within reach. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank, we believe.
All right, we're back live here at Burrito Mico. Want to thank Miguel and everybody here at Burrito Mico for allowing us to have this opportunity to bring you the Elgin Coaches Show live from Elgin. Finally, like I said, so we're happy about that. We'll be here every game week on Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. So come and join us for the Coaches Show throughout the year. Looking forward to a big one against Mac on Friday. We'll have all the live action for you. Pregame will start at 6:30. Got one little change in the booth this year. Glenn has moved on to Texas, so Glenn and I'm going to be joined by my old partner in crime, Billy Palmer, who worked with me at Cash for a couple years. So we're familiar with each other in the booth. So we're looking forward to bringing some great games to you and all the exciting action of the 2025 Elgin Owl football season. With that said, we're going to wrap things up. And when we wrap things up, what do we always say?
Elgin Owl!
There we go. Go Owls. We'll see y'all Friday night.